You walked in for milk. You walked out $40 lighter, and you don't fully remember why. This happens to almost everyone, almost every week. You tell yourself you just grabbed a few extra things, but the truth is stranger than that. You didn't lose control in that store. The store took it from you on purpose, using design decisions made years before you ever walked in. A supermarket is not a place where food is stored. It's a machine built to separate you from your money, and almost every inch of it is engineered to do exactly that. The lighting, the layout, the music, the smell, the price tags, none of it is an accident. So let me walk you through the machine from the inside. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Start at the door. The first thing that hits you usually isn't shelves. It's flowers, fresh fruit, stacks of color. Why would a store waste its most valuable space? The entrance on produce, which is some of the lowest margin, fastest spoiling stuff they sell. Because that opening moment isn't about selling you an apple. It's about resetting your brain. Retail designers call the area just inside the doors the decompression zone. You slow down, you shift gears, you stop being a person on a mission and start being a shopper. The fresh smell and bright color whisper that this place is healthy, abundant, trustworthy, and a relaxed, trusting shopper spends more. You've been softened up, and you haven't even touched a cart yet. And keep that nose of yours in mind, because somewhere up front you'll often catch the smell of fresh bread baking. That bakery isn't there by accident either. Warm bread is one of the most powerful hunger triggers there is, and a hungry shopper buys more. They are quite literally making your stomach growl before you reach aisle one. Speaking of that cart, have you noticed they keep getting bigger over the years? That's not for your convenience. A bigger cart makes your shopping look small. A few items rattling around the bottom of a huge basket feel like nothing, so you add more and more, just to fill the space your eyes expect to see filled. The cart is a quiet little salesman you push around yourself. Now where's the milk? It's at the very back. Always. So is the bread, the eggs, the stuff you actually came for. That's the oldest trick in the building. The essentials are buried at the far wall, so that reaching them forces you to walk past hundreds of things you never planned to buy. Every aisle you cross is another chance for something to catch your eye. They're not hiding the milk from you. They're making you pay a toll in temptation to reach it. And here's the first thing I want you to hold on to. Somewhere in this store, there is an item they are selling at a loss, losing money on every single one. Remember that. We'll come back to it, and it matters more than you think. Let's talk about the shelves themselves, because this is where it gets sharp. Here's a question worth sitting with. Which shelf in the whole store do you think is the most valuable? Most people would never guess. Look straight ahead at any aisle. The products sitting right at your eye level, the easiest ones to grab, are almost never there by luck. That prime eye-level strip is some of the most fought-over space in the building, and brands pay enormous fees to land their product there. Those are sometimes called slotting fees, money a manufacturer pays the store just to occupy the good shelf. So the brand at your eye level often isn't the best value, it's just the one that paid the most to be seen first. Want to know where the cheaper options usually hide? Look down. Look at the bottom shelf or the very top. The savings are physically placed where your eyes don't naturally travel. Have you ever once crouched to compare the bottom shelf? Most people never do. Then there are the end caps, those big displays at the end of each aisle. They look like the deal of the day. They feel urgent, special, discounted. But here's the catch. A huge share of end cap products aren't actually marked down at all. The display alone does the work. Your brain sees a product set apart, given its own stage, and assumes it must be a bargain. Often it's just full price wearing a costume. Now look at the price tags. $4.99, $9.99, $19.99. You know this trick, and it still works on you because it was never really about the save penny. Your brain reads left to right and anchors hard on that first digit. $4.99 doesn't register as basically $5. It registers as for something. This is called charm pricing, and decades of testing show that little 9 on the end genuinely moves more product than a clean round number would. Then there's the math built to confuse you. 10 for $10, buy 2 for 6. You almost never have to buy 10 to get the per item price. But that big number 10 plants an anchor in your head, and suddenly grabbing 6 feels reasonable when you came in for 1. The number itself is the manipulation. Once a quantity is sitting in your mind, walking out with less starts to feel like losing. Listen. Actually, listen. Hear that music? It's slow. Supermarkets very deliberately lean on slower tempo background music, and a classic study found that when the tempo slowed down, shoppers moved more slowly through the store and spent noticeably more than when the music was fast. You're not strolling because you're relaxed. You're relaxed because they want you to stroll, because a slower walk past more shelves is a fuller cart at the register. And notice what you won't find anywhere: a clock or a window. Nothing to remind you that time is passing or that a whole world exists outside these walls. Sound familiar? It's the exact same trick a casino plays. Now back to that item they're losing money on. It's called a loss leader. The store deliberately prices something popular below cost: a roast chicken, a carton of eggs, a famous brand of soda, and sometimes splashes it on a giant sign out front. They lose a little on that one thing on purpose because it pulls you through the door. And once you're inside, you don't buy only the cheap chicken. You buy the chicken, the rolls, the drinks, the dessert, the dozen full-price things stacked all around it. The loss on one item is just bait for the profit on 20. That amazing deal that made you choose this store over the other one? It was never really the deal. You were. Even the free samples are working on you. When someone hands you a warm bite for nothing, a quiet instinct kicks in, the pull to give something back. It's called reciprocity, and it's one of the most reliable levers in all of human behavior. You feel a small, unspoken debt, and dropping that product into your cart settles it. They gave you a cube of cheese worth pennies. You bought the block. So step back and look at the whole machine at once. The calming entrance, the smell of bread, the oversized cart, the milk exiled to the back wall, the bottom shelf bargains, the end caps in disguise, the 9 on every tag, the slow music, and the missing clock. The chicken sold at a loss to reel you in. None of it is random. Each piece is one small nudge, and 100 small nudges quietly become an extra $40 you never actually decided to spend. But here's the part that truly matters, the part that's about you and not about them. You can't change the store. You can change the one thing they desperately need you to do. Walk in without a plan. Almost every trick in that building works on the impulse, the unplanned grab, the version of you wandering the aisles deciding in the moment. A written list and a full stomach disarm most of the machine before you even reach the doors. The store is engineered to beat a shopper who's improvising. It has almost no power over a shopper who already decided. So the next time you walk in for milk and walk out $40 lighter, you'll finally know exactly why. The only question left is whether next time you let the machine decide or you do.